When you're first getting into slide guitar, everything seems new, from getting control of this slippery little devil to open tunings, and it can be quite a lot to take in. With so much that you really need to be paying attention to all at once, sometimes I think it's easy to lose focus, and what we're going to talk about today is one thing that I believe you can focus on that will help you develop sharper slide skills. Hey, John here, and this is your Tuesday Blues, where every week we come together and sit down for a guitar lesson to help you play better blues. That's what it's all about, and I want to invite you, if you're new here, to hit that subscribe button and click that bell notification icon so you know when these lessons go live. They come out every single week, and we cover a cool aspect of acoustic blues each and every Tuesday. So hit that subscribe button, and let's get on with the lesson. I'm going to play in open D tuning. We've got an example that we're going to unpack, so if you want to follow along, you'll want to be in that tuning. But if you're playing out of a different open tuning or even standard tuning with your slide, this will apply because we're talking about something that's more important really than any example. We're going to talk about one thing that's easy to overlook, but it's so telling on whether or not your technique needs a little tune-up. Let's start going through the example, and I'm going to point out some specifics along those lines. Yes, there's a lot going on in this example for sure. We've got an alternating bass line, we've got the melody on top, and then we've even got this sort of tag ending thing happening. So we've got the slide and some finger picking happening at once. There's a lot going on, but what we're going to do here is strip a lot of that away and get down to the core essence, the most vital part of the example that you just heard. And to me, I believe that to be the melody. The melody is the thing that you're going to hum. It's the thing that you would sing, put some lyrics to, and turn it into a vocal accompaniment, right? That's the most important part, and you got to get that right. And the cool thing is when you strip everything else away, right, whether it's alternating bass or doing some strumming or whatever it is, when you strip it away, the melody is just there. It's bare. It's standing front and center, and that gives you an opportunity to listen to it critically. Are you playing it right? Are you playing it in time? Are you playing the notes in tune, right? Are you using the slide to its fullest and articulating the notes well, right? Think about the human voice and how you might sing that part. Can you use the slide to match that? Because there's some similarities in the two instruments, right? Your voice can go really, it's not stopping at frets, which may or may not be a bad thing for some of us, but it's not. You have the ability to slide and scoop, and you've got the same ability with a slide. And I think it can be daunting at first because this thing is hard to control, but this is where you can really put some practice time, some smart practice time in and get control, right? So taking a melody like this, and I'll start talking about the actual notes that we're playing here. We're starting on beat 2 and coming up from the C. Keep in mind this is tuned to open D, so this is a C note up to the D, our root. So we've got a flat 7 up to the root. Then we come up here to the 7th fret, but we're really kind of aiming more to the 8th. What we're doing is scooping into it. And of course, applying vibrato like a singer would, right? To make this sound really vocal-like. Just practice that. Take that one line. We're going 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, but we're really bending. We're really just kind of sliding slowly toward the 8th fret there, not actually getting there really. Then back. Just take this little bit of it. Can you make it sound good to your ears? If not, there's a few things you might need to pay attention to. First off, you need to make sure that you're playing over the frets, right? And notice how the first part of this is really just sounding the same as if you were fretting it. We want to play with good, clean intonation so it sounds like we're playing over a fret when we want to, like these opening 2 notes. Then we want to make sure that we're able to control and articulate these cool bluesy moments, like we're moving up from the E note here, 7th fret, to the F. And then applying vibrato. A couple of other things that you're going to want to make sure of is that you've got the right amount of pressure. Does it sound smooth and connected like you're hearing here, or does it sound buzzy and crackly? That's too light of pressure on the strings with the slide. Or does it sound real rattly like this? That means you've got too much pressure and you're actually fretting out with the slide. And you certainly don't want to hear any rattling on the frets. I'm telling you, when you strip everything else away, you get rid of all this extra business and tones, especially if you're strumming and there's a lot going on. It can be harder to hear these little nuances. But these little things, when you pay attention to them, they add up to good slide playing. So take this example and learn this little passage. And make sure you can play it and it sounds good and in tune on your instrument. That's what we're going for, all right? Then you can start to layer on other things, like maybe it's just a simple drone in the bass. That sounds pretty cool, right? It's kind of got that swampy vibe to it. Or alternating bass, like I did earlier. Take this example and work on the melody. Get it under your slide and then play it by itself and listen critically. Listen out for the common trouble spots. Are you playing with enough pressure? Are you playing with too much pressure? Are you playing ahead of the fret or behind the fret? These are problems and they're going to show up and make that melody sound a little less than stellar. So put a critical ear on it and play it by itself, and I think you'll be surprised at what you can learn. You're building your own mental representation of what it's supposed to sound like and comparing your own performance to it. And that's when you're able to practice smart and get a whole lot more out of your practice session. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something from it, and I hope that you'll put this little exercise, this idea of practicing with that critical ear, into your own practice sessions. You'll be surprised at just how much more you can gain from your time on the instrument. If you want to keep learning, click or tap right over here, and do hit that subscribe button so that you know when these lessons come out each and every week. Come on back, and I'll see you here next Tuesday. Until then, practice smart and play on.